Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that might be a bit controversial, but it's important to discuss. I'm breaking one of the most important rules of personal finance, and I'm sorry to all the Dave Ramsey fans out there. So, let's talk about emergency funds. We've all heard the traditional rules: 3 to 6 months worth of expenses stashed away in a boring old savings account, earning barely any interest. It's what Dave Ramsey and other financial gurus have been preaching for years, and for good reason. Having a cushion in place can be a lifesaver when unexpected expenses arise or you lose your job. But here's the thing. Following these traditional rules can be really tough. I mean, who has that kind of money just lying around? It's hard enough to build up an emergency fund, let alone one that's big enough to cover 6 months of expenses. And what about people who have high-interest debt or other financial priorities that need attention? It can feel like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of saving, with no end in sight. And then there's the flexibility issue. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes you need to tap into your emergency fund for something that's not exactly an emergency, but still important. Maybe you need to take a course to upskill, or invest in your business, or even just take a much-needed vacation. But if you're following the traditional rules, you might feel guilty about using your emergency fund for anything that's not a true emergency. And what about people who are trying to achieve financial independence? Don't they need to be able to invest their money in assets that will generate passive income, rather than leaving it to stagnate in a savings account? It's hard to build wealth when you're following a strategy that's all about playing it safe. So, I've started to think about emergency funds in a different way. Instead of following a one-size-fits-all approach, I'm focusing on finding a balance that works for me and my goals. I'm investing in myself, my business, and my financial education, while still keeping a safety net in place. Now, I know that Dave Ramsey is a huge proponent of not using credit cards and always paying cash for everything. But here's the thing. I'm not following that rule. I'm actually using my credit cards to build my emergency fund. Now, before you start judging me, let me explain. I've been using my credit cards to make purchases that I know I can afford, and then I'm paying them off in full every month. This way, I'm earning cashback rewards, which I'm using to build my emergency fund. So, while I'm not following Dave Ramsey's advice to the letter, I'm still being responsible with my finances and using my credit cards to my advantage. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you found this discussion interesting. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more financial tips and advice.